Hello everyone, it's Mary. Welcome back to the channel. Is it too many money savings videos too close together? I hope not, because I'm having a blast. Today I am bringing you more budget-friendly craft supply, dupes, alternatives, whatever you want to call it. I'm so excited to share this with you because I truly believe you do not have to spend a lot of money to be creative. So let's start off super strong, okay? This is wall spackle, like spackle to fill in holes. We're going to play with it as embossing paste. That's right. So I am really just going to open up the container and I'm going to start using it. It's already a beautiful mixture. It has a mixture sort of like whipped like cream cheese, not like the hard cream cheese, but like the whipped stuff. That's what it feels like. Don't eat it. Please do not eat this. And it goes on exactly like embossing paste. All right. So the only thing I didn't do was try to heat this up. And the first thing I'm showing you is just putting it through a stencil like normal. You're going to want to wash that stencil just like you would any embossing paste and do it right away. You don't want to let that harden on there. That'll just be very, very difficult to get off. And then I thought, well, can I add some color to it? So I just pulled out an ink pad that I had, and this one's a Simon Hurley ink pad, and I mixed it up with the blue. It made it a little bit of a lighter blue, but not by much. I probably just could have added more ink to it and gotten it to be a darker color. So yay for that, because this can of Spackle was about $2.97, and I could get any color I want because I have reinkers, I have ink pads, and it will be a beautiful consistency. But I wanted to also try my second product, and we'll come back to the embossing paste in just a second. But I wanted to try my second idea here, which is food coloring. Food coloring is another very inexpensive supply that you can add from your kitchen to your craft room, and it's going to go a long way. It's very concentrated color, and I am going to put the spackle down onto my glass mat here. I'm going to add just one dot. Okay, just one dot. You do not need a lot. And I'm going to try the 3 primary colors first. Now they give you a green in this particular pack, and you could probably even buy packs with all the colors. But however, with primary colors, you can mix your own. So that is what I'm doing with the same wall spackle. I am going to just mix up some of those primary colors and smear them onto my cardstock. I didn't use a stencil for this. I just purely wanted to show you what they look like. Look at how concentrated and beautiful that blue came out. That is wonderful. I'm going to then move on to the yellow and get a beautiful bright yellow color as well. And that's going to go down onto my cardstock. I actually intended to throw this cardstock away, but in the end, I'm going to show you how I mix it up, and I'm going to keep it for a very cool background. And then I do the blue and the green or the blue and the yellow together, and that's going to give me green. That gives me a beautiful, vibrant green. Now, remember, I'm no color theorist or expert in color, but if you play around with it and you do a little less of one color, a little more of another, you're going to get different hues. So that's why I just love the idea of primary colors. They just really can stretch so far. This one's orange. It's looking a little too close to the red, but again, you can mix that up. So then I get all of those on there, and I didn't really want to waste that background. I thought that was kind of cool. So I just went back and forth with the colors and I let them mix in with one another. And I kind of like it. It's kind of abstract look, and I'm going to see what I can do with it later because it has so much fun texture on it. So that was with wall spackle and food coloring. Those are just the first 2 of this video. Hang out with me. We got more. But speaking of embossing paste, I want to invite you to our next live class. That is coming up on February 28th. It starts at 12. We'll go for about 2.5 to 3 hours. I have lots of fun ideas, even a bonus pre-recorded class for you that you can watch at your leisure. But I hope that you join us. When you do register, you're going to get this supply list. I like to emphasize that you do not need exactly what I'm using. You have lots of comparable items. And in fact, I just showed you 2 that you can show up with and enjoy a great creative time with us. Spackle and some food coloring, and come join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. I have lots of prizes, and the prices, pay what you can. Just pick your price as low as $1.50. If that's all you can afford. I don't want cost to be a barrier for you to be creative with us. So link in the description below. We do hope you can join. All right, let's go back to the craft table. And here I'm going to still be using my food coloring because I want to try them out as watercolors. So something similar. Now I have a watercolor piece of cardstock here and I stamped it and heat embossed it with clear powder, that image, so that it will resist and won't smudge or bleed as I'm playing around with these. Okay. So that's number one. Number two is they're not exactly like watercolors. They really just aren't. However, they definitely got the job done. And again, I want to emphasize that you don't need a lot of money to sit at a craft space and just play. The most important thing to me is that you're dedicating time for yourself, that you're stopping the world around you, that you're maybe taking some reflective time, some introspective time, and just enjoying the process of play. We do not do that enough in adulthood. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. And I'm showing you that you don't need a lot of money to do it. Now, I love the way that looks. It was super vibrant. I'd probably mute the colors just a tiny bit more because they are very, very bright, or maybe stick with monochromatic and just go with one color. All right, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about magnets. Now the magnets on the left of the screen are my absolute favorite. I love them with my glass magnetic mat. They're great. But I thought, let me see if I can find maybe a less expensive alternative, something a little bit more budget friendly. Now, by the way, these are like little magnet sticks you can have. My husband has one in the garage and they like find little pieces of metal everywhere. It's really cool. They also have trays. You all shared that with me, that they have trays. They're not that pricey either. I think they were around $2.99. You can get different colors. They have silver. They have large, small. This is great because you can just toss your dies in there while you're working and you won't lose them, because how many of us lose our dies? All right. So I tested out some. Okay. So here's some ideas. Some didn't work. This first one, I don't know why I can't read and look at the listing, because if I would have seen they were ginormous. They're too big. They're too big. And for how big they are, it's not strong enough. So these particular magnets were a bust for me. Also, I just felt like the metal, there was no protective nature like the white ones that I have up there in the screen. They have like this sort of something on the bottom that sort of protects it from smacking down on the glass. And so I was a little afraid to break my glass. These ones are from the Dollar Tree and they are not strong enough either. So I'm just sort of like comparing them and testing them out. They just don't have enough of a hold. So the ones that are from Dollar Tree, I didn't like. But these I got from Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight, I think that's how you say it. And they are really strong. So you want to be careful with your fingers. Definitely be careful of that. They were really affordable too. I appreciated that this pack of 2 was just 99 cents. So that was awesome. I don't know if these would go well inside. No, I know they wouldn't. They're too thick to go inside like your Misty. So you don't want to do that. But the Misty comes with a really strong magnet anyway. I'm going to show you in a second. You can get those as well. I wanted to try to find something in person though, at least in the USA, because not everybody shops online. And so that's why I went to Harbor Freight to see if I can find something. There, I'm just creating a little handle for you. And I also wanted to add that you all are so helpful. Here is something that someone just posted on one of my last videos. Her and her husband bought a 2-pack of heavy-duty bar magnets at a Canadian place called Princess Auto for $1.99 a pack. And then he made some handles out of wood, which glued on the magnets with Gorilla Glue. So 4 strong magnets for less than $5. I think that's incredible. Thank you so much, Amber, for sharing that. And thank you all who put something in the comments. You all need to read the comments. You share so much great information. This was an additional magnet my husband had in his hardware store. Outside in the garage. I don't know where he got it. It was just there, but I thought I would share it. And here are some other options that I saw at Harbor Freight, which I thought were pretty cool. Again, those are the 99-cent pack ones. And yeah, it was just a really good option to go in person to see what they had. All right. Right here is from a store on Amazon. If you do shop online, these are some of those bar magnets that are super strong. They are like the ones that come in the Misty. And so these are great if you can just make your own little handle on them. I think that's an awesome idea. So again, that was a share from one of you all. Let's move on to my jagged little edge here of the handmade Chucky, I think it's called. It's to help press down on your Stampin' platform. So I made this one in my last video, just had some stuff on hand. It was free, and so that was great. But I also got a recommendation from so many of you of these air hockey puck handle things. And it is exactly almost like some of the craft supplies are selling. This one, I think at the time of recording was $5.99. And so that is a lot less expensive than some of the craft branded ones, and it does the exact same thing. So if you want to make one at home, like I showed in the last video, or if you want to have something like this, again, it's pretty affordable. So I'm just walking you through a demo here of proving that it works just like any other thing. There were so many ideas for how you all made your own in the comments of that last video. I will make sure that the playlist for my money savings is at the end of this video, and then I'll link all that stuff below in the description if you want to check it out. But so many great ideas of things you just had laying around the house. It was so awesome to read and to just hear all the creative juices. Please put in the comments what some of your favorite alternative dupes are, because I will either try them out for future videos or everyone else reading the comments is going to be able to benefit. So I think that's what this community is all about. Let's just share ideas. I'm pouring some of the clear embossing powder over because this is the actual one that I used in the previous part of this video. And another dupe right there, that container is from the thrift store. I think I paid a couple bucks for it. But anyway, I wanted to show you, yes, it does work, while I babbled on about my gratitude towards all of you. And isn't that fun? And that's a brand new to me stamp, and I am in love with it. It's so pretty. All right, moving on. These reverse tweezers, I think, are a staple in any crafter's ensemble of tools. I think they're great. They're almost like a third hand. They're so helpful. But these tweezers right here that I got, 3 to a pack, a lot less expensive than the craft branded ones, I have to say, and they're exactly the same. So as of the recording of this video, the 3 of these came in a pack for $6.99. And why do you need 3? You don't, but I do like to have one that I used for heat embossing, because if it gets gunky, I have a clean pair. But then also you can just gift one to a crafty friend because they're that inexpensive. Anyway, those are the tweezers. I love them, and I wanted to make sure I included. Now, in an old money savings video, I shared with you, this is a craft branded turntable used for coloring and things like that. This is one that I tried out in a video, and then also a bamboo that I tried. But see that bottom of the bamboo? It's too small. Like, I felt like the bamboo thing was tipping over, so I returned that one. That was a 14-inch one. This is a good sized one for sure. I don't think that it turned as freely after a while as I was using it. However, that's the reason why I kind of wanted to upgrade. This is the old large one. See how small that base is on the back? It's too much of a difference. So I went and saw this 10-inch one for only $7.49, half the price of the last bamboo one that I purchased. And do you see the base, how much larger it is? It creates much more stability. So what I want to recommend to you, though, is go to the thrift store and see if you can find turntables like this. There probably are going to be some. So before you spend any money, even though $7.49 is not a lot of money, just check out your local thrift stores. I have a new thrift store video coming. I didn't see any exactly like this, but that's a thought and an idea for you. So here's the back of that one, and you can just see it's much more stable because they enlarged that base, that circle base that makes it turn. All right, let's go on to a fun one. This is embellishment alternatives. I love the clay embellishments. I think they're so fun. They're thin. They move around in shaker cards beautifully. I'm a fan. I've been buying them from craft brand stores for a long time. This is my newest collection that I got. I actually probably have too many of the embellishments. I may put this in a giveaway, but I wanted to get them and show you the ensemble that it comes all in one. These are so good. They're so pretty. So I'm going to show you a couple of them up close, and then I'm going to show you, which is not necessarily related to this particular topic, but how I store all my embellishments, which has caused me to use them so much more frequently, which is great because you want to use your supplies, right? Is that correct? Do we want to use our stuff? Okay. This right here is a 5-tier drawer that I use. This thing right here is not that cheap. I think it was like $20, but to me it's worth it because I use it so much more now instead of having them in their original little bags. So now I can see what I have. You just have to be careful if you have cats or littles come around your craft area. You don't want them pushing stuff over. But I pull out an entire drawer, I take it to my surface, and I use them because they come all the way out. So that's how I store my embellishments. But these embellishments that I picked up that are the variety pack is just $7.99 for that entire set as of recording of this video. All right, lastly, I want to share with you that I wanted to do a little bit more mixed media projects, and I thought it would be fun to add washi tape for texture and just some things I'm kind of experimenting with and playing with. So I picked this set up, and the cost of all of this washi tape right here was just $12.95 for the whole thing. And that's pretty good considering one of these rolls would probably cost you $6.99, depending on where you buy it. So that was my last share that I wanted to throw in there because I'm just trying a little bit of some new creative work. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope this was helpful. And as always, this is not a video to say, go buy this exact thing, but it is a video to encourage you to look at things differently and to remember that being creative should not cost a lot of money. All right, before we go, just another reminder that you are invited on February 28th to join us for our live embossing paste class. As I've demonstrated here today, you do not need a lot. It's pick your own price to join. We hope to see you there. Otherwise, I will see you in the comments down below and in the next video. Bye-bye.